Guys, welcome to episode 33 in brackets Max Verstappen, episode of Motorsport Republica. This is the Formula 1 2023 review show.
Here we go.
What a season.
Yeah.
Domination, obviously. Going through, looking at the results, you just can't fathom what kind of season Red Bull had. And I think it will go down in history, and I don't see this ever happening again.
The closest it's come is when I was looking at the late 80s of Prost and Senna with McLaren.
Yep.
And the only team, funny enough, to upset their reign of terror was Ferrari as well.
There you go.
They were the one team to break it. I think like Japan or something like that.
There you go.
The fact that Red Bull won 21 of 22 races is just one of the
That's
greatest,
mind-boggling.
greatest achievement in Grand Prix history.
It's just, yeah, it's insane. And it's so funny because, like, you know, a couple years ago, it went down to the last couple corners
last
and the
lap.
Yep.
last lap, last race, and now like the advancement of Red Bull and obviously what Adrian Newey's done to that car is
Yeah, I mean, you think of the ever growing amount of races, the pit stops they have to do, the things that can go wrong, qualifying can go wrong. Like, to win that many races of the season is just incredible.
Yeah, that's right. And like Perez was, you were thinking going to be there for a lot of the season after the first 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Where I think 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, the
Yeah.
two Red Bull boys, and then it was just a Verstappen show for the rest of it.
Let's see, it just showed his class, didn't he?
Yep.
Showed why he's the world champ.
Ferrari showed some signs throughout the year.
They did.
Pardon
yeah.
the pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a little bit. Up and down, though. I
Yeah.
mean, they've still got a lot of things to iron out, obviously. They did come unstuck a few times, but
Yeah.
slowly.
I'm really excited for next season. It's going to be, and I think we touched on this with Dandy last week, is we've got McLaren up there. Mercedes will be up there next year. Well, that's my call. Ferrari doing their very best to fuck it up as usual. But you're looking for Verstappen. He's now 3rd time on the win list for the all-time win list. You know, he's I think he's had 54 wins.
At 26 years old.
So Hamilton's reign of 100 and whatever wins he's had doesn't look that out of it.
It's coming under threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it keeps going as it is.
Which, as 2 years ago, you'd think no one will ever
No one's gonna
surpass
touch
it.
it.
So it's amazing what a couple of seasons in what can happen in Formula 1.
Yeah.
George Russell at the start of the season, I think it was in Bahrain, predicted that Red Bull would win every race. That nearly happened, obviously in Singapore.
Yeah.
But it's astonishing how close that came to happening.
That would have been, yeah. Like, you can't even really put into words, can you?
No.
How crazy! Like the thought of it's just, like I said before, it's just nuts.
1,000 laps led this season.
Yeah,
So
I did see that the other day.
And I think it's just we'll go on into each race just who's going to get second.
yeah.
That's all it was.
You know, we're watching it like it's just who's going to get second.
Going back and looking at the races, there was actually some really exciting races. Like, I go back and look at Zandvoort when the weather hit at the start of the race.
Yeah, true.
And, there was a couple of really close battles. But we're always going to look back on the season and go, it was just a complete domination. I look back at the 2004 season. Same thing. Michael Schumacher in that Ferrari. That was an ultimate domination. Dominated every single race. But still didn't have the results that Verstappen did. So,
yeah.
Pretty incredible. I'd like to touch on as well Christian Horner. He must now be considered one of the best team principals of all time. What he's done with Red Bull, Vettel, 4 championships in a row. Crawling back for years and years on that Mercedes reign to go and win 3 championships in a row, I should say. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's an incredible feat. You got to put him alongside the Frank Williams of the worlds, the Toto Wolffs of the worlds, because just some crazy statistics in there.
Yeah, hats off to him for sure. To bring the team to do what it's done. And like you said, just to keep pegging away and chipping away, being a thorn in Mercedes' side as well.
Yeah, and that battle between him and Toto just throughout the year, throughout the last few years, has been enthralling, and I suppose we'll see that all in Drive to Survive coming up in a couple of months.
Good theatre for sure.
I know, right?
So we're going to touch on a few things tonight. We're going to talk about not underrated drivers, but drivers that overperformed, underperformed that we thought. And I think that's going to be a really interesting one. Greatest moments of the year, greatest race of the year. What else we got, Jim?
We got who surprised the most.
Yep.
Most under pressure for 2024. We'll kind of touch loosely on our early, predictions of 2024.
Yep.
Lots can change. Our opinions can just change.
Yep.
Underachievers, overachievers, kind of thing. So
I think we should start with, underrated driver of the year.
Okay.
Who exceeded expectations?
So overachiever.
Overachiever.
Yeah.
Who exceeded expectations this year for you?
For me, I've got 2 down.
Mm-hmm.
It's Fernando Alonso.
Yep.
Coming with on the Aston Martin. I really thought going into this, I don't think a lot of people expected what Aston Martin did, and I guess they're an overachiever as it is. But at the start of the season, he was like consistent podiums. To be fair, they dropped off at the end of the season, but maybe that's a little bit to be expected. But I thought he had a great season for how old he is. He's 300 years old. He's done everything in the sport that you could possibly do. And the crazy thing is he's still so hungry for it. Crazy. Where people, obviously respect him so much. And he even made I think it was a comment in maybe the Miami Grand Prix earlier in the season where they were asking about... what's his teammate? Stroll. And he was like, "Oh, how's Stroll going?" It was like in the middle of the race. I think we made a clip. So the dude's just always there.
It's funny how long the season is and how far that seems ago when this happened, because we forget that he was P2 on the grid in Monaco, nearly snatched pole. He was on the podium in Australia. Obviously had some great races throughout the year, that early on in the year. And we always think about probably the last 6 or 7 races, but you're so right. He outperformed that car.
Yeah, for sure. And dude's just doesn't quit.
He's a demon, yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. And one of the all-time greats, obviously. And then my other one is a little bit biased here, but I still think one of the best rookie seasons of all time. I'm sure probably both of you guys might have him as well, Oscar Piastri. So it was just interesting to see the points difference, funny enough, in between 8th and 9th. You've obviously got like your top 8 kind of cars in there, and it's George Russell at 175 and then Oscar Piastri down at 97. It's just that massive difference in teams. Yeah, and obviously he's just that rookie, but Oscar Piastri just came out almost. It's kind of not. He just built into the season, I guess. Definitely, yeah, and like I still don't think he's got the recognition that he deserves. Nah, it's just Hamilton had. Obviously, Hamilton had a better season in his first year at McLaren back in 2007 when he nearly won the championship. Can't compare the two, but he was front page news. And if how good they're talking about Lando and how talented he is, he outperformed him at the end of the year. I think he outqualified him. It was 8-7. Yeah. Silverstone was a big change for them when they had all their parts updates. Yeah. And ever since Silverstone, I think he outqualified him for the year. So, crazy achievement. You still saw that experience with Lando in the races with tyre management, which is the big thing. You could just see him drop away races, but he'll learn from that and he'll come back stronger next year. Do you think, just off topic a little bit, but do you think the British drivers just get propped up that little bit more because they've got the British teams by the media? For sure. Compared to even, obviously 100%. Aussies or... Yeah, I mean, 8 out of the 10 teams are all based in England. Yeah, that's right. So that's the home of Formula One. Yeah. And that's going to be always they're always going to have more press. What do you think, Dan? Any underrated? What's your underrated pick?
I had Albon as a bit of a smoky. I think at times he's shown that he outperformed that Williams and put it in some good spots and fought really well, and had one race where it was an absolute defensive sort of masterclass and showed his skill. And this might be a little bit controversial, but considering the car that Mercedes had, I had Hamilton as an overachiever. Okay. Because I thought that car was a bit average. Yeah. I think maybe lucky to finish third in the championship with everyone else behind, obviously Ferrari fluffing strategies and stuff like that, and Aston Martin not being able to keep the pace for so long. But credit where it's due, the guy's a freak. Yeah. He's a 7-time world champion. He's not a pleb. So I think he outperformed that car and showed why he's in the debate as one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah, I agree with both those points. I had Albon definitely as an overachiever in that car. He had an amazing year. Piastri as well, as we touched on. The other one for me really surprised me was Liam Lawson. Yeah. I don't think we can underestimate the kind of pressure he was under. Yeah. That race in Zandvoort when he went out, I think it was in qualifying, or I think it was even in the race, and he went out on wet tyres on you just can't practice for that. Yeah. You can sit on a simulator all your life, but you'll never be in that situation. And how those 3 races he scored points in all 3 were just incredible.
Yeah,
So-
I was keen to see him on the grid.
Well, yeah, I mean,
2025
yeah.
maybe.
Well, who knows? I mean, I thought they might squeeze him in the Williams seat, but it looks like that your boy Sargent's going to stick around for another year.
Yeah,
So
to see signs.
he did show a couple of little sparks throughout the year, Sargent. But yeah, I mean, he just got absolutely mauled by by Albon. So.
Tough opposition, or tough teammate, I should say.
100%, definitely. You're so right. You're so right. So, just jumping straight onto disappointments of the year. My number 1, Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah.
He just hasn't shown me that spark yet, and I just don't know where it's going to come from. I've been watching some videos throughout the week, preparing for the pod, and like some people, I think Ted Kravitz came out and said, "Oh, he overachieved in that car." No, he didn't.
How many points did he get?
Oh,
it was like 17 points or something. Like 17 points he got.
Liam Lawson came into the car and outperformed him in those 3 races. Yeah. It's just crazy. I just don't know. I mean, don't know what we're going to see next year, and if he doesn't perform next year, I just don't see how they can keep him going.
Seems like a protected species sometimes, Yuki Tsunoda, because that's right. Ricardo's already came in like last third of the season, and he got 6 points, and he was injured.
Yeah,
you know, I had Yuki Tsunoda down as well as my biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
I
think we're the only one who talks about this.
I don't get it. I do not get it. They're not sponsored by Idemitsu Honda or something. Well,
it is Honda. Honda engine. True. That's where it probably comes from. Like, but anyway, we'll see a big American in 2026 when Ford come and power those cars. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
What was the disappointment for you, Dan?
I actually had Ocon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think. He's been with the team for a little while now, and to get outperformed, well, not consistently, but Pierre Gasly did finish above him.
Yeah.
In the championship, I think equal on podiums. I think Gasly might have had a sprint podium as well, where Ocon didn't.
Yep.
I think he probably drove a lot better and got forced out a couple of times. I think they hit each other again a few times this year. Plus some, how F1 is bullshit team orders here and there. So I think he got stagged a little bit there. But I think Ocon, given that he's been with the team, should have performed a lot better, especially for Gasly's first year in the car.
It's a really interesting dynamic, that team being all French. Like 2 French drivers, French management, French team, owned by a French auto manufacturer. There'd be high tension in that team, and there always has been. So it's going to be interesting. Jack Doohan's their test driver and has been for the last couple of years. We'll continue with that. So we'll see if he comes into the fold in the next couple of years, because he would just inject such young youth and enthusiasm, something different into that team.
Yeah, maybe they need something different.
2 very similar drivers, Ocon and Gasly, just need something a bit different. So, I mean, it's not like we're going to touch on MotoGP in our next show, but it's good having 2 different ways of doing things, and then
because they can help develop in different ways, but maybe get to the same endpoint, but in 2 different ways.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, you got 2 guys with the same mindset. You always have to have, I think, someone with that ability to play second fiddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a Barrichello or guys like that are happy to take that back seat and just play wingman.
Let Michael pass for the championship.
Unless you've got a dominant car, it's very hard to have 2 main drivers in a championship.
Just in anything, 100%. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Does it mean that Alpine feel like they flew under the radar though the whole year?
Yeah.
I feel like they hardly got spoke about at all, unless they collided into each other.
That's right. It was the only time they got press.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think like the 13th and 14th, 15th to the last on the grid, you just don't hear too much of it throughout the race weekend. So
yeah.
But yeah, there was one surprise in the sprint race.
Yep.
As you alluded to, but they didn't really do much else.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, they had a podium each. And that was about it. Nothing. They didn't set the world on fire in terms of qualifying. Ocon had a third, like a start from third. Gasly start from fourth. Nothing higher than that. So, yeah.
It was really interesting this year with different tracks, how different cars performed. And I don't remember seeing that in Formula 1 quite to how drastic it was. Like, you looked at the Red Bull being dominant all through the season and then was terrible in Singapore.
Yeah, you couldn't hack it at all.
Yeah, you looked at Ferrari in some races. I think it's got to do with weather and humidity and track temp and all sorts of things.
Temperature, like just McLaren.
Yeah, just those, the tyre that tire temperature is just so important, and that's what cost Mercedes from the sounds of it. But we'll see what happens next year. It just seems like it's such a fine line.
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
Silverstone, was it? Where it was cold temperatures, and the McLarens, they had their upgrades as well.
Yeah.
But they were flying, so...
And you see teams like the Williams, they do struggle with just the car just doesn't nurse its tyres. So those colder conditions, they perform so much better in, because it's just the tyres so important. So favorite moments of the year I've got down, guys, and I've got a few to talk about. Obviously, I think Singapore for me was one of those unique events where I was away in Bali watching it, and I was pissed. No commentary in a bar, but it was such a good time, and it was probably one of the races of the season as well. Seeing the Ferrari out there, and I think Sainz winning was pretty cool. He's playing a bit of tag team with Lando as well in that race. They were trying to keep those two Mercedes behind, and then obviously George Russell doing his
throwing into the wall. So for me, that was one of my favourite races of the season. Couldn't tell you what really happened apart from that, but really enjoyed it. Melbourne, going back to the start of the season, and as we said before, like how long the season is, Melbourne was a crazy race. 3 restarts, 3 red flags.
Long day.
And get this for a podium, Max, Hamilton and Alonso.
Yeah.
Like 3 generations. That's you got crazy. The young punk world champion, you got the former top kid, and then you got the old statesman, all world champions, So I thought that was really cool. And I actually didn't even remember that looking back at the stats. So that was pretty amazing. What was your favourite moment of the year, James?
Oh, for me, I think it was the weekend of Vegas.
Yep.
I think that just created so much intrigue, and I loved all of it, and I loved talking about it. I loved everyone's opinions, good or bad. I thought that was great. Just how maybe loose it was as well, like going into 2-3 a.m. when they were driving, the manhole cover came up, all the stuff coming out with the casinos. But it ended up being an amazing event. The race was incredible. I loved how it was low grip as well. The cold conditions. It was a spectacle going down the strip of Vegas. Like, how cool is that? I think it was a success.
I totally agree, and I loved how you said the negative press it got as well, because we touched on that a lot, and I was like, man, they're going down the strip of Vegas. I mean, like, what are we fucking complaining about? That's just a typical fucking generation, though. We love complaining about everything. If that happened in the 80s, no one would say shit.
No, bad night.
That's right.
So it's just the generation that we live in now. But what an event, what a spectacle, as you said, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it next year.
And next year it'll be bigger and better again.
Yeah,
they're just gonna fix all those issues. As we've always said, it's always a trial in those first ones. But it was great. It was a great race. Verstappen didn't have it his own way. He had to catch Charles right at the end. And
with a broken front wing.
Yeah, that's right. And then I think he got pipped by... Perez got pipped for second.
In the second
last corner. So it was a great race. Yeah. And it was a real driver's race by Verstappen.
Yeah.
Because he had a broken front wing. He had to really work for it.
Yeah, really had to push for it.
So...
Oh, no, and then Perez passed Leclerc, and we thought, Perez is out.
Yeah, that's
and then
right.
Leclerc repassed Perez.
A very un-Formula One thing.
Yeah, it was super cool. Really
it was awesome.
And that great crash by Lando as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was quick.
That was full on.
Yeah, crazy as. Couldn't believe that.
What about you, Daniel?
I'm gonna say the Australian race only because I was there. I think like the whole day for me, like, it was a fun day. Bar the 3 freaking restarts, and they're gonna have one. Like, I remember the security guy going like, "Oh, we're gonna have one more lap." It's like, and then they just fucking dawdled past, and it's like, "All right, there's a checkered flag." Like, but post race, the scenes were amazing. Yeah. So for me, that was my memorable thing. I was right up there at the podium, and I'm like, "Fucking, how good's this?" Like,
I think they got in trouble for the fans coming on the circuit.
They came on a lap early.
Yeah.
And then people were scaling the pit fence, the pit wall.
Yeah.
And sitting on top, watching the podium and stuff, and it was unreal. Like, it was crazy scenes. It was so chockers.
Did you go down the Lygon Street with all the other Guidos afterwards?
No Ferraris on Lygon Street. They didn't perform, so no one was there. But kept them tucked away in the garages and stuff. So don't worry about it.
Got a couple of macchiatos.
No. After the Singapore GP, but different story.
Yeah.
Ferrari, they're like the Essendon supporters come out of their little cave when they start winning.
That's interesting.
But yeah, that was definitely highlight. For me that was
another race for me was Zandvoort. That, and I think we touched on it earlier, but like the rain coming in at the start of the race and bucketed down, and then the cream rises to the top. Yeah. Verstappen does the right strategy, wins another one. So
changeable conditions.
It always brings interesting results.
Yeah.
The other thing for me, and again, probably something that we've forgotten about, was Piastri's P2 qualifying lap in Suzuka.
I was literally just about to say another one for me was Suzuka, because we were all watching it here together.
And just that pole lap, and like to pull it out of the bag at probably the driver's track of all drivers' tracks. To him pull it out of the bag, I think Verstappen had pole by 7/10, but that lap of Verstappen's in that race as well was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Rewatch that; it's like the closest thing to perfection you've ever seen in your life.
It is perfection.
But the driver's track, first time there in an F1 car, to put it P2, just incredible result.
Even his sprint victory was amazing.
In Qatar. Yeah.
Again, unnoticed, like stuff all said about it.
And he got second in the sprint or something in Spa, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, as well. So it's like,
dude's been holding drive, trophies, man. Like,
I know.
God, yeah, he can drive. He can really drive.
And that's a man's track as well. It's fucking Spa.
That's not for the weak-minded. That.
God no, I ain't Qatar, that's for sure.
Guys, thanks for listening into the pod. Just a quick one. Jump on our website. I'm going to throw the link down here. Check out all of our new air fresheners, all of our teas, all of our accessories. Keep an eye out on all of our socials for all of our new drops. We've got some really special stuff coming and some really cool guests too. Keep on listening in. Keep on showing us all the love and support. We really appreciate you guys. Back to the pod.
But we'll see what happens.
It's actually got a hill.
Undulation.
So who's under pressure for 2024?
I think you'd have to say Lance Stroll and Checo Perez, wouldn't you? Like, you'd have to just everyone that they've been saying this year that was under pressure anyway.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people on that list. I think you're spot on there. Perez, I don't see him lasting any longer than another year.
No,
both the Alpine boys. Like that's going to be a struggle.
Or do they only want French people in there? Are they doing a VR46 Academy? They only want their own kind in there. What's going on?
That's almost racism, though.
It is.
It is. It's backhanded racism.
Yeah, we're gonna storm their pit garage in Albert Park.
Just put a little, what are they called?
Be careful.
Pencil mustache.
Yeah, make sure you really draw out that mustache.
You're not going to the Mercedes pits. Be careful with that mustache, mate.
You go to jail for that mustache, I think.
Yeah, keep that hand down, Mop.
Yeah, bad. But, oh, God. It cooked me. But, yeah, I think those two for sure, like, they would have to be, especially Checo. You got, like you said, you got Lawson that's trying to break in.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a seat.
Ricciardo wanting to come up to the Red Bull seat. He's come out publicly during the week and said, that's where I want to finish my career.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But, who knows if they're going to make a play at anyone else.
Yeah.
There's so many different... we can throw so much shit at a wall.
I had Perez as well, but you know what? Everyone should be saying Yuki Tsunoda, as we've just spoken about. Like, he should be under pressure.
He just doesn't seem to be, though.
They invest a lot in him, don't they?
Yeah.
They bit of a love child for Red Bull, I think.
It seems to be. Has he done
Which is weird,
Has he done anything?
He hasn't done anything.
He's on fourth place, I think, once.
But he has... Like, we've spoken about this before, but you need a surprise podium, you need something.
Yeah. Has he lit the world on fire in qualifying? I don't think so. I don't think he's had...
Bro, the best thing he ever did was, I think it was testing 2 years ago, his first ever test. He got like fourth on the grid and like fucking this guy, he's the next Gate Gun, he's the next, Jack Watts. And then he does absolutely nothing. Like, in typical Jack Watts fashion.
Cleaned up on fucking Queen's birthday.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I don't know what it is. I just don't... Like, I'm looking at his results going through, like, Formula 1. Like, his first season, his best result... Like, he had a 6th in Hungary. He had a 4th in Abu Dhabi. Okay? Hasn't finished, since that Abu Dhabi race in 2021, has not finished higher than 7th. Okay? His highest position this year was 8th. He's gone from 32 points for his first season, 12 points in his second season, 17 points this season. He's done absolutely nothing.
That's
nothing.
That's actually gone backwards.
Yeah. I just don't understand it. He should be under pressure.
They got the same engine as the Red Bull team.
Maybe he'll come next year. Is his contract up next year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, you can't bloody wait that long, surely. You can't go backwards that much.
Well, I don't know. You got to be improving. You got to be on the improve. And I think the Lawson thing for me, what coming out of this year was just like I just couldn't believe he came in and he should be a second ahead.
Yeah, exactly. You should not be made to be outperformed by the person that's never driven that car before.
Never driven a Formula One car. In anger.
3 times in a row.
Yeah.
That's just not on. That's definitely a good point. Him being under pressure, that's for sure.
100%. But yeah, as we were touching on at the start, it was an interesting season. I don't think as obviously dramatised as what your 2021 or probably even your 2022 was, but still some unbelievable races throughout the year. And I'm really looking forward to next season. I think it's going to be really close.
Yeah, I hope so.
A lot of people are saying it's still going to be another Red Bull domination, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see Mercedes not winning.
Not coming to the party.
Dandy last week said, yes, we expect Max to probably win 10 races of the season. Yes, the other 13 races, who's going to be in the mix? That might be the issue. If Ferrari and Mercedes both...
I was just about to say, if everyone's so close, they're going to steal points off each other. Yeah. That's where they're, someone comes in and swoops up a championship.
Yeah.
And now with that experience, 3-time world champion, it's not like when he first came in. Yeah. He's just throwing caution to the wind. He's collected now. He will just take those points and, wait for them to make their mistakes. Sort of like what Hamilton does. Wait for the mistake in front of him and then pounce on it and go. That's it. So I think that's where everyone else will come undone.
What's with Red Bull, Dot? They haven't started developing they have stopped developing their car 2/3 of the way through the season
for next year.
So they're still going to have a ridiculously good car, and I don't know, man. I can still see something similar.
Okay. 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
it's a big call.
I want your top 3 predictions for next year, James.
It is going to be obviously Max Verstappen. Second, I think McLaren of Lando Norris. And third is going to be Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah. That's I think McLaren's going to take a big step forward.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Ferrari's just going to
be there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And have a good race every 4 races.
Yeah. But I think McLaren's got a lot of momentum going in 2024. Lando's supposed to be the man up for it, so I think he should be the one to do it. But I just don't see anyone stopping Verstappen. They might steal maybe a couple of extra wins away. I still reckon he's going to win 70% of the races.
Yeah, it's hard to look past him.
Look at Mercedes and their dominant years.
It's a good point.
How many races do they win each season?
Yeah.
This is his first dominant year. I guess maybe second. But I just can't see until there's a big rule change, what's happening in 2026 or whatever it is.
Yep.
I think it's going to be more of the same for the next couple of years.
The other interesting fact that's come out in the last couple of weeks is they can't start developing their 2026 car until the start of 25.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of money thrown at next season to win the championship because they're going to allocate all their cash to that season. And then 2025 is really going to be limbo because they're all going to be thinking about 2026. Huge development, different engines, different cars, less downforce again. And then that will lead the generation into the 2030s. So, yeah, that's next year will be an amazing year for F1. I think Max will still win the championship. Hamilton and him will be neck and neck all season.
God, that's a big goal.
Yep.
That'd be so good to see again.
Yep, and I think
it'll be great.
And I think George Russell will finish third.
Nah.
I think there's going to be a lot of races.
Mercedes that good, huh?
Yep. I think there's going to be a lot of races that crystal ball's come out, I think.
Yeah.
Far out.
It's been way too long, man.
4 months.
Yeah, where's your crystal balls been?
Oh, well, bro, Marquez, I mean...
Packed them away.
He retired it after that.
That was it. That was just an amazing call. Incredible call. Caroline Wilson called that one. That's my prediction, and I think the Mercedes will bully Verstappen throughout the year and pit stopping early, and there'll be a lot of strategic things happening. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. That's going to make it exciting for me because you know that I love to hate someone as well.
Well, this is the thing. We're watching Abu Dhabi when we're in the sunny coast, and Verstappen got out in the lead, and Tom's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Like, and he's the biggest Verstappen fan of them all.
Yeah. That's why Vegas was so good because it showed how good he is. You know, coming through the pack. So he should just start from 20th every race, and then we'll see what happens.
I think he'll still trump the field. He'll do it easy.
Yeah.
What about you, Daniel? Loose predictions.
Max. I think Ferrari's going to come to the party next year.
Oh, of course.
Italians.
He paid to say that.
Yeah. Pino's actually got a gun at him.
Yeah, the crew chief Frederick over there, you just freaking slip me a few.
I'm gonna do this so you can have a good clip next year. Ferrari will be shithouse next year. All right?
Yeah, that's fine. It's just early predictions, bro. I'll get the timing sheets and all that, and we'll go through it a bit later. And really dissect it and analyze it.
Well, true. And please, we're gonna have a pre-season preview.
Yeah.
Probably around mid-February, I would say, before the actually maybe after the Bahrain test. Yeah. Bahrain test is the 21st to the 23rd of Feb. So
and that'll be a two-parter as well.
Yeah.
One solely for F1.
Yeah.
One for GP. So.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think obviously Max. I can't see anyone dethroning Max.
Yeah.
I think he'll. Yeah, over 10 race wins. I think Charles second, and then Checo third.
Checo third.
Oh god, completely different. Okay.
So no Mercs.
No.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I feel like it's
easy. So hard to call.
It's easy to call as in I feel like okay, it's going to be Verstappen, but for the rest, it's like the best of the rest is so up in the air, and it really could go either way. But Ferrari need to get this shit together.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so as well. It's best for the sport.
Absolutely,
it's not like the sport needs it at the moment anyway, but.
No.
Yeah, but just think of how much it'll propel it if it happens. If something happens,
I know.
That'd be huge. And I'm not saying that because I'm Italian and it's Ferrari. Like, Ferrari's like the Repsol Honda. Like,
yeah, it is.
Ferrari is F1. It is the team. Like,
you said Ferrari, so Charles
second.
Is he mentally up for it yet? This has always been the talking point.
He probably lacks that.
When it comes to a dog fight.
Yeah, I think he probably lacks that mentality of someone like a Verstappen or Hamilton or
because Verstappen's
Alonso.
Ice cold.
Yeah, I think he probably lacks that, and that's what's going to cost him a championship. That's why I don't think he'll win one.
Because you need
if you're putting it purely on skill, he's one of the best drivers. If not,
look what he did on the Sauber.
That's what I mean. Like, the kid can drive.
Yeah.
I've always loved the way he drove ever since he came in.
Me too. I saw. I mean, everyone did, but what he did on that Sauber, he was finishing 7th every race, where his teammate was like 15th, 16th, and that's the difference.
Sony Ericsson over there.
And Sony Ericsson's no slouch either. So yeah, I totally agree. And he's up there with Verstappen talent-wise, raw talent.
Oh man, absolutely. He's so talented. It's not funny, but I think he comes unstuck in his own head.
That race in Monza when he won, home crowd on those old tyres, was probably one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Yeah,
that might be my throwback. That'll be my throwback when we have nothing to talk about in January.
Yeah, might be tearing up. I reckon that.
Oh, that was amazing. It wasn't 2021 Abu Dhabi amazing when tears flowing, but it was up there.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Charles though, because he's had so much bad luck. He's kind of been fucked over. He had that like power steering issue, whatever it was, in Brazil. Remember he went out on the warm-up lap?
Yeah. Well, he put on pole in Monaco and his car. Yeah. His car parked fucked up. That was partly his fault though. He crashed in qualifying.
Yeah, I was going to say he crashed at the end of qualies anyway.
Sometimes you got to make your own luck. So
he's got a curse there too, man. He crashed with Lauda's Ferrari. He crashed it at Monaco. You can't drive. That's crazy. But
I hope he does well. Because he's a good poster boy for Ferrari. I'd love to see
Ferrari. He's a good poster boy for F1.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we sell little air fresheners, and he's second best selling after Ricciardo.
Yeah.
So more than Verstappen, more than the rest of them. So
on air fresheners, we've got some new ones. We'll tease some new ones coming in.
Yes, we've got some a bit of a classic F1 driver category coming through. So as James would say, watch this space.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
With the emoji. James' favourite.
Yeah, it's head of social media.
Cool. Well, thanks, boys. It was good. Happy with that. So
yeah, awesome, man.
Let's look forward to the season.
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah, thanks.
Beautiful.
See yous.
Bye.